Get a better idea than just in black money.
Like, I like that.
Hey, look at that. No, I don't like black enough. Are you brush your teeth?
Yes.
Right, just scrub this off and then hop on.
You like what?
Sorry?
Do you like what?
Like black.
Do you like what? That is a very good.
Oh,
Oh, look at that stuff, big stuff. Look at that big stuff, Daddy.
oh, big hole. Okay. Running. Really, daddy.
Dad, that was a pirate panic. That was a silly pirate and it ran away from you. The silly pirate ran away from you.
Hey, so when my
The ending that a bad guy got. But it is not really a good guy.
that one.
Knife.
You wanna wear it?
No. No. No.
No, no.
Hi, no.
No.
Why say no.
Why you say nay?
Oh, I'm not saying no.
No.
No?
Say
Oh, is that broken? Is that broken? That one.
let's set up the stream.
How is that?
You ready, Matt?
I am ready.
Right. What this guy doing?
That.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
We need to repair our ship too.
Yeah, what's that?
You know what the ship name? Blue Star. Alright.
We like that, so we gotta go to that black hole. So
Where are we?
we won't need that black hole.
Oh yeah.
So let's go to that shuttle.
Go over here and get some.
We go past the black hole.
Get some petrol.
Oh, we go past the black hole.
Wow! Look at that. How much? Uh-oh. Why is it on fire? Yes! Alright, we need to go. I think we run out metal. That means we can complete quest.
Do you want to go to that like
Been there before.
go to that hole, the planet?
Oh no, I think we're gonna stuck here.
We'll go.
That's alright, that's a lot of food.
It's good to go.
How many black holes? No, still not enough. I do.
That girl wants some matter.
Yeah, I know.
But we don't have enough matter, do we?
Oh.
We gotta keep that for us. We gotta give 1 or 2 to all. Give 1 or 2 to all.
Yep. Speed. 280. Been to everywhere.
Yeah.
Sing the song. I've been to everywhere, man.
I'm everywhere, man.
I've been to everywhere.
I've been man. Been everywhere, man.
I've been to everywhere, man. Oh dear.
How are we going? Planet? Who's gonna prepare that? Oh,
Can.
maybe have to wave it like that. Na.
Yeah. Heavy.
Hello. Said hello.
No.
Maybe go to that. Pooh.
What are we gonna do? 800.
I can.
Oh, we buy this profit. Yeah. Look at that. Or we could buy some metal.
And buy butter.
Very, very.
I saw that I can see the can of it.
Buy this box.
I see the can of it. Up it.
Oh,
It's not.
a lot of profit.
You know? Do.
Question is, how do we gonna quest? Question. Yeah.
They decide the crystal for wider. They decide the for wider.
What to do? Hang on. We've been there. Oh dear.
Yeah, what we do is very that down.
Indeed. Right. Let's oh.
Everyone's in position.
Everyone in the position, yes.
Why are they in a position?
Maybe.
But there's no pirate.
Let me call him over.
Why are you calling? I got it away.
Get it away.
I can't.
Alright.
That is a fun. It's
Yeah.
like the ocean.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. Oh dear. But I am. Welcome back.
how do I get out of this? Boom.
Ah. Come on. Ah. But, treat the injury people.
Into one pit.
Three.
What are they?
Where?
The blue ones?
Yeah.
I saw one blue one and that blue one. But that one, try and get that one off. I'm calling for help again.
Yeah, pretty much. Here we go.
Oh no.
Battle station.
No, grids are coming to get us.
Oh, they did. Ouch. Can
There's a big hole there. Ouch.
where else got injury?
Maybe that green guy. No, that guy with a white axe. That guy with an axe. That guy.
Okay, hang on. Where's the buddy, you need to sit still. This guy, but they don't have much skill. Accuracy is bad. Horrible. Gun is that blunderbuss pistol. Zero.
On the best pistol.
Sick one. Where is he?
Where is what? Eh?
Why is he go there?
Oh, that. The cat?
No, not the cat. Oh, I can't. Well, let's.
I can't help.
Really?
I like the sound of it. I like the sound of the battery. I'm calling for help again.
Yeah. We need bad guy. Oh, we go. Is it bad guy? Oh no. Don't touch me. Ouch. Okay.
Did you call for help? You got taught by those.
Alright, we
You need to get some food anyway.
yeah, no, but hit my toes. Can lose more my toe than I see. Oh,
I think I will go that side with you. No, that's alright.
yeah. Yeah. My toe. Oh, this guy's selling
I should.
280. Here we go. We are finished the mission. 80 by 273. Exactly. Yeah, man.
Yes.
Back. How do we go? 8. You fly to the gates. Drop. Local gates.
I did say
Hang on, mate. Moving too much.
Calling for help again.
Yes. Buy some. Thank you. Run out of food too. Who'll get injury?
Maybe he.
Buddy. You're moving again.
I think I want my mom.
You on your own chair now? Come. Hi. Hey.
Want it. Give me.
Here. There you go. I move you now and then, yeah? That fell down. Alright, let's go. Local gates. Open the gate. Let the flood come in. Open the gate of heaven. Let the flood
You're
pour
calling
in.
for help again.
Yeah, we need to.
Oh no.
Oh no, yes, no, indeed. Oh, come on. Do this for me. No.
Why do I keep coming?
Why they keep coming for?
Gotta get out ship again.
Alright, where's the gate? Where are we going? Midfield, are we? Get 11. Alright. Alright. Now. Oh, this guy's sailing too.
What guy?
Right there. See, buddy? You have to go like that because it lean on my arm and you go like this. Arm, see that? The mouse. There. X. And here. Q.
I'm moving on this.
Alright, no more. No more, please. One hop down.
I want my own jet.
Buddy? Hey,
I
come on.
can't see with my own jet.
No, you can't see what you...
I can't. Not yet. I will show you I can. I will show you I can.
I think we finished. Yahoo! Yakahoo!
Are we in the gate?
Yukaha!
Are we in the gate?
Kalaku! Haha! Good party! See? Good party. Welcome aboard. Oh,
Free coffee.
got more people.
Free coffee.
Where are they?
What? Is it the green?
More bed for them. Oh, look at him. Brian Mantis.
It is.
Yeah.
Is there a bad flying monsters? It's like a monster night.
Rick is his name.
Wait.
You're different. Try.
Calling for help again. Get, and then.
Oh, let's go for bed.
I really do that.
We're running out of money anyway.
Mommy said I can die on it.
Time to go home. Home stretch. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to local field depot. Oh, wrong way. Yes.
That's the guy.
The adventure. Oh, hello. I don't know who is he, but okay then. Continue. Carry on. Insectoid aliens. Yeah, got it.
Insectoid aliens. Silly. Hello. Goodbye. Hello.
Need more fuel. make more beds too.
Those are not bad. No, they can door. The door people, the door people. Is that why I can't have?
Buddy. Hey. Excuse me.
Do you want to go back to the Dyson?
Yeah, we go back to the station now. See? Oh, this is a new station. Look at that.
It is.
Strange looking station.
Yeah. Right, looking Dyson. People can walk down there. Down to there. There to there.
Yeah. 8. Wow. Not bad. Too expensive though. This one shoot. This one shooting apple too.
Everyone shooting apples. Everyone is shooting.
That's right. Everyone shooting.
We are shooting apples. And that's it.
Alright, we're back. Thank you.
Hip hip hooray! Hip
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 hip hooray. Hip hooray. Hop hop hooray. Oh, new guy. 200. I think he eat a lot, is he? Eat a lot, yeah. How about this guy?
We already got.
Wait.
Yeah. There he is, comparing them. Whoa. We already got.
Maybe we should move one guy out.
Maybe.
A Greek. He eat. A scientist from Earth. Really? I don't get like voice. It. I don't know. Oh, I guess I can pick him.
But he eats too. He's like eating with.
Eat more than Sissy.
Yeah. He eats all day. He likes soup, mushrooms, daddies.
Daddy?
Oh, and sissy. And people.
People? Who eat people?
No, that crocodile.
Cockroach eat people?
That
Really?
silly cat. Silly cat, catty cat. So many species.
Oh, hang on, I got to do this.
I think I want to sit.
You're gonna sit on your own seat now. Guess what?
What?
Too late.
To like?
Try to change your mind. Stuck here now. Ah. Hey. That time.
What time?
Night.
Good night.
More you do after that quicker, faster. Got more time to spaceship. What was that?
I don't know.
I still heard the old mouse singing. Here's a bit.
Risha. Neutralizing person. You have some big stick.
Just
By the bees. Ew.
that's the
Oh shoot. Still. I take ship to picture. What is
There will be buses coming. There will be things coming. And there will be people coming.
I know.
Make sure you shoot them.
Gonna go for them. Here we come. Ha 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 ha. That's the pirate.
Ooh, that is
Get these people now. They going, mate. They going. No way, stop them now.
fun for lick.
They going for them now. Good night, buddy. Happen. Back and ready.
And I
There they
going
going.
fast.
Landings on the ship. Here we go. Party time. Ba-do-do-do. Do-do. Do-do-do.
That him is gonna eat in the naughty.
Get him, please. Choo. Pew. 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 Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Rocking, please.
You can
Important.
get down.
Not important. Oh, what is going on here? Oh, this guy needs to go back. Rockin'. Why didn't he go back? Oh no. Man down. Man down. What? I don't understand.
I got you.
Oh, they got me. How? Ah, I think they got my ship. Silly What? That's enough. Man. Alright. Good time, mate. Yeah. I will. Nah. Nah. I think this one good. Alright, thank you. Let's go. Okay. Yeah. What is it, mate? You're here?
Every new time.
Oh, okay.
I love
Ah, forget the sun lap. Here we go. Let's see what I got here. Jeez, Gatling cannon. 1-8. It's crazy. Oh no. I got no my toes. Let's do it. What? Uh-oh. This gun using my toes. Very interesting. What? Yes. Okay. What? Oh. Don't have enough Reddit. Okay. Done dear. Oh no. More injury people. You can't be serious. Hmm. keep harvesting. Yes! Oh, come on. Oh, it's the gate. I go get some fuel first. Forget about that fire. Thank you. Wow, that's a lot of fuel. Go back to the gate. Ouch. That geez, cheap. It's cheap. Thank you very much. Now this chat get interesting. Are you serious? Here we go, medium laser. Intelligent. What? Three, six. Six. Way better than this one. This one only got two. Four. Alright, I got there. To go, guys. Tired. Quite tired, actually. Jump. That's the way. Oh, you go the wrong way. Is it? Oh no. Nope, going the right way. Oh, survivor. Who are you? Wow, he's good. Yeah. Put it down. Here we go. Good job, guys. I'm tired now. But I think I can finish this. Try it. Come on. It's alright. Wow, so many mineral. Where am I? I'm going the wrong way, I think. A lot of credits. This is. Keep wasting my fuel. Alright, fine, let's go. Yes. Some. Well, just love me. Everyone love me. There you go. Take all of it. Oh, I nearly fell asleep in my chair there. 3 new people. Soon I've got nothing to eat. Oh wow.